You think attraction is emotional. That belief already placed you below her. Attraction is not romance. It is not connection. It is not chemistry. It is surveillance. The moment you enter her awareness, a scan begins. Not conscious, biological, posture, pacing, response time, emotional leakage. She is not asking, "Do I like him?" She is asking, "Where does he stand?" This is not cruelty. It is selection. Every arena runs on hierarchy. The workplace, the street, the bedroom. Attraction is no different. Men who believe effort creates desire misunderstand the battlefield. Effort is visible movement. Visible movement is traceable. Traceable men get priced. You don't earn attraction, you are ranked into it. And ranking happens before words, before intention, before charm, before sincerity. You walk in thinking you're choosing. She's already placed you. High rank is not loud, it is scarce. Low rank explains itself, high rank withholds. This is where most men collapse. They mistake availability for warmth. They mistake responsiveness for interest. They mistake pursuit for courage. All three are confessions. Confessions of need. Confessions of imbalance. Confessions of position. The arena rewards restraint, not hunger. Watch how power moves anywhere else. The general does not rush the front line. The predator does not sprint before the strike. The casino does not chase gamblers. Those who chase signal one thing. They need the outcome. Need is not attractive. Need is leverage offered to the other side. Attraction reads need like blood in water. This is primal biology, not ideology. The nervous system does not negotiate. It reacts. Fast replies, over-availability, emotional reassurance. These are not kindness. They are tells. Every tell reduces mystery. Every reduction collapses tension. Tension is attraction's currency. You think comfort builds closeness. Comfort builds familiarity. Familiarity builds predictability. Predictable systems are safe. Safe systems are ignored. Attraction is not built on safety. It is built on uncertainty under control. That is why unstable men get attention first. Not because they are better, but because they are unreadable in short bursts. But instability burns out. What replaces it is worse. The man who reacts becomes managed. The man who explains becomes handled. The man who reassures becomes absorbed. Absorbed men are not desired. They are consumed. This is the first ego fracture you must accept. She is not responding to your intention. She is responding to your position. Position is communicated through restraint. Silence is not absence. It is pressure. Delay is not disinterest. It is filtration. Stillness is not weakness. It is threat without movement. Rooms feel it. People feel it. Women feel it. They don't label it consciously. They adjust to it instinctively. This is observer axis framing. When you do less, others reveal more. When you pause, others fill space. When you withhold, others project. Projection is information. Information is leverage. The man who moves first pays. The man who waits prices the exchange. Attraction is no exception. The romance illusion tells you to perform, to prove, to pursue. The arena rewards none of this. The arena rewards men who do not rush to be understood. Men who do not hurry to be liked. Men who do not trade silence for approval. Those men force recalibration. She slows down. She watches closer. She tests indirectly. Not because she wants to dominate, but because the hierarchy is unclear. Unclear hierarchy creates tension. Tension creates attraction. This is the inversion most men resist. They believe being good secures position. Goodness without leverage is decoration. Position comes first. Behavior is interpreted second. Until you accept that attraction is a rank scan, you will keep trying to negotiate desire. And negotiation always reveals who needs the deal more. You think replying shows interest. It shows position. Every reaction is a transaction, and you are the one paying. The arena runs on a simple economy. Attention is currency. Reaction is payment. Whoever reacts first funds the exchange. Whoever waits prices it. This is the reaction economy. Text messages, reassurance, explanations, chasing, double texts, emotional clarification. Each one feels harmless in isolation. Together they form a confession. You are affected. You are invested. You need the outcome. Need is visible. Visibility collapses rank. You don't lose power because you care. You lose power because you show urgency. Urgency tells her one thing. She occupies the higher ground. This is frame inversion. You think responding fast keeps momentum. It hands it away. You think reassurance builds safety. It dissolves tension. You think chasing proves confidence. It proves dependence. None of this is moral. It is mechanical. The nervous system reads imbalance instantly. When you react quickly, she relaxes. Relaxation kills attraction. When you over-explain, she stops imagining. Imagination is desire's engine. When you reassure, you remove uncertainty. Uncertainty is leverage. This is why silence feels heavy. It forces the other side to carry weight. You are taught that communication solves everything. Communication solves logistics. Attraction is not logistics. It is tension management. Silence is not absence. It is pressure without exposure. Pressure forces movement. Movement reveals rank. This is why insecure performers provoke reactions. Delayed replies, mixed signals, jokes that test boundaries, moments of withdrawal. These are not accidents, they are probes. Low-cost attacks with high-reward asymmetry. If you react, they profit. If you explain, they gain control. If you chase, they raise their price. They don't need to dominate you, they need regulation. Your reaction stabilizes their position. This is why mockery escalates when you engage. They are feeding. Reaction is not strength, it is supply. Silence collapses their economy. No reply means no feedback. No feedback means no leverage. No leverage means anxiety. Anxiety creates mistakes. This is prediction armor. When you become unreadable, targeting fails. They don't know how to move you, so they escalate. More tests, longer delays, stronger provocations. This is narcissist panic. They lost regulation. You did nothing. Your stillness forced self-exposure. This is observer danger. The room adjusts to the unmoved. You are not ignoring to punish. You are withholding to reposition. There is a difference. Punishment seeks reaction. Positioning denies it. The man who reacts explains himself into submission. The man who withholds lets the other side speak. And speaking leaks. She fills silence with assumptions. Assumptions reveal priorities. Priorities reveal leverage. This is judo pull. You don't push, you don't resist, you let momentum expose structure. Most men never learn this. They chase clarity, they chase closure, they chase reassurance. They believe discomfort must be resolved immediately. Discomfort is information. Resolve it too fast, and you erase data. Silence collects data. This is why the highest leverage move looks passive. It isn't. It is extraction denial. You are not reacting because reaction costs position. You are not explaining because explanation kneels. You are not chasing because chasing announces rank. This is not cruelty. It is discipline. Discipline in the reaction economy. Every time you do not respond immediately, the hierarchy pauses. Every time you resist reassurance, tension stays alive. Every time you don't chase, gravity shifts. She wonders. She watches. She adjusts. Not because you demanded it, because the system recalibrates. Desire doesn't test. Insecurity does. When interest is real, it moves clean. When insecurity appears, it probes. Jokes that sting slightly, delays that feel intentional, mixed signals that blur intent. These are not accidents. They are low-cost tests. The performer wants information without paying for it. They want to see what moves you. They want to map your reactions. This is a territory scan. Every tease asks a question. Every delay measures tolerance. Every inconsistency checks compliance. If you react, the test pays off. If you explain, the test upgrades. If you chase, the test escalates. This is asymmetry. It costs them nothing to poke. It costs you position to respond. Insecure performers do not seek dominance. They seek regulation. They need to know where they stand. They need confirmation they matter. They need evidence you are affected. Reaction supplies all three. This is why teasing increases after you engage. They're not flirting, they're feeding. Non-reaction breaks the circuit. Silence doesn't insult, it exposes. When a joke lands and nothing returns, the performer feels naked. They expected a laugh. They expected defense. They expected reassurance. They received nothing. Nothing forces self-awareness. This is observer gravity. The still man becomes the reference point. The moving one reveals rank. Watch what happens next. They talk more. They clarify. They justify. They fill the vacuum. Vacuum is dangerous. It pulls leaks out of people. This is attention withdrawal as a weapon. You are not punishing. You are refusing to regulate. Regulation is not your job. Insecure performers escalate when regulation disappears. They intensify tests. They sharpen jokes. They extend silence. This is narcissist panic. They lost control of the exchange. You did not change behavior. You changed gravity. Gravity shifts rooms. Others notice who moves first, who waits, who fills silence. Hierarchy updates quietly. The man who reacts becomes the performer. The man who stays still becomes the observer. Observers do not chase. They catalog. Cataloging is power. Every test you ignore turns into data. Data builds leverage. Leverage builds dominance ground. This is frame inversion. You were taught engagement builds connection. In arenas, engagement builds exposure. The wolf doesn't respond to every noise. The wolf listens. Listening is predatory. The insecure performer mistakes silence for weakness, only briefly. Then doubt appears. Did that land? Did I go too far? Why didn't he react? Questions replace confidence. Confidence leaks out. This is why stillness terrifies unstable systems. They can't predict timing. They can't read intent. Prediction failure creates anxiety. Anxiety forces mistakes. The joke becomes sharper. The delay becomes longer. The signal becomes messier. Mess reveals motive. This is judo pull. You don't push them away. You let their momentum show structure. Most men fail here. They rush to clarify. They rush to reassure. They rush to prove humor tolerance. They believe strength is tolerance. Tolerance without boundaries is submission. Submission collapses hierarchy. The disciplined man understands this. Not every test deserves an answer. Not every joke deserves acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is payment. Payment shifts rank. This is the difference between desire and manipulation. Desire moves toward. Manipulation circles. Circling is fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of irrelevance. Fear of losing control. You don't need to confront it. Confrontation gives it weight. You starve it. Starvation works because performers need mirrors. No mirror, no performance. This is why silence feels like power. It removes the stage. Without a stage, the performer collapses into self-awareness. That moment, when they realize they are alone in the interaction, is when hierarchy locks. You are no longer being tested. They are. And they know it. Power collapses when you become predictable. Predictability is access. Access is extraction. Most men leak patterns constantly. They reply fast. They explain motives. They telegraph mood. They think transparency builds trust. In arenas, transparency builds targets. Every reaction gives coordinates. Every explanation reveals intent. Every emotional fluctuation creates timing windows. This is why unreadability is dangerous. Dangerous men cannot be mapped. Prediction armor forms when variables disappear. Silence is not absence. It is denial. Denial of data. Denial of rhythm. Denial of leverage. When you stop reacting, extraction fails. Extractors rely on sequence. Message, response, push, adjustment. Remove the response and the machine stalls. This is extraction denial. Without feedback, they hesitate. Hesitation creates anxiety. Anxiety creates mistakes. This is not theory. It is biology. Uncertainty triggers threat detection. Threat detection drains cognition. Drained cognition produces errors. The unmoved man becomes a cognitive tax. Others start compensating. They talk more, they over-explain, they escalate emotional signals, they try humor, then frustration, then provocation. Each attempt is a probe. Probes require feedback to refine. Silence breaks refinement. This is prediction armor. You are no longer reacting inside their system. They are reacting inside yours. Watch the shift carefully. At first, they test harder. Then they slow down. Then they wait. Waiting is rank exposure. High rank does not chase clarity. Low rank demands it. When someone keeps pressing for a reaction, they reveal dependence. Dependence collapses authority. This is frame inversion. You were taught to communicate. In hierarchies, communication is optional. The king does not clarify intent. Others infer it. Inference places burden on the observer. Burden creates submission. Silence forces others to carry weight alone. Carrying weight exhausts. Exhaustion leads to confession. Confession is leakage. Leakage is dominance ground. This is how silence weaponizes time. Time favors the unmoved. While they speculate, you observe. Observation without participation is the observer axis. The observer is never rushed. The performer always is. Performers need reaction to stay relevant. Observers do not. This is why insecure performers panic around stillness. They cannot read you. They cannot predict outcomes. They cannot calibrate strategy. They begin self-attacking. Did I say something wrong? Why is he distant? Is he judging me? Judgment appears without you saying a word. That is gravity shift psychology. Rooms adjust to stillness. Conversations bend around it. Others start mirroring your pace. Your delay becomes the tempo. Tempo control is dominance. Dominance without confrontation is sovereign. You did not threaten, you did not demand, you did not explain. You simply removed fuel. Fuel is attention. Attention withdrawal collapses systems built on validation. This is why silence terrifies manipulators. Manipulation requires hooks. Hooks require response. No response, no hook. This is also why silence filters quality. Those who respect boundaries adjust calmly. Those who seek control escalate emotionally. Escalation reveals intent. Intent once revealed cannot be hidden. This is the double bind. If they push, they expose insecurity. If they retreat, they concede ground. Either way, you gain data. Data without exposure is power. Prediction armor does not mean coldness. It means containment. Containment keeps emotion internal. External calm remains intact. You are not indifferent. You are sealed. Sealed men cannot be targeted easily. Untargetable men create anxiety. Anxiety destabilizes hierarchy. Hierarchy then reorders itself, not in your favor because you tried, but because you stopped feeding the system. Power rarely announces itself. It rearranges the room quietly. Most men believe dominance requires pressure, force, assertion, noise. That belief keeps them visible. Visibility makes them manageable. True gravity moves without contact. Stillness bends behavior. When you stop rushing, others start waiting. When you stop filling space, others overfill it. When you stop reacting, others reveal hierarchy instinctively. This is gravity shift psychology. Crowds do not align with fairness. They align with stability. Stability looks like calm delay under pressure. The man who moves last controls tempo. Tempo controls outcome. Everyone else adjusts. Watch any interaction carefully. The one who waits sets the pace. The one who rushes pays the cost. Rushing is submission disguised as effort. Delay is not disinterest. It is control over sequence. Sequence decides who leads. Most men lose rank because they try to be present. Presence is a performance metric. Performers exhaust themselves to be noticed. Architects let others orbit. When you delay a response, you force the other side to carry uncertainty. Uncertainty is weight. Weight bends posture, tone, and decisions. This is how gravity forms. No argument, no resistance, no confrontation, just imbalance. The insecure performer feels the shift immediately. They speak faster, they justify more. They ask questions they already know answers to. Each question is a request for alignment. Requests expose hierarchy. High rank does not request reassurance. Low rank does. You do nothing. Doing nothing is not passive. It is denial of engagement. Denial breaks scripts. Scripts require timing. Timing requires cooperation. You remove cooperation without hostility. This is judo pull. Instead of pushing back, you let their momentum expose position. They lean forward emotionally. You remain upright. Leaning is loss of center. Loss of center triggers hierarchy fear. Fear sharpens attention. Now they watch you. Observation reverses direction. Earlier, you were being scanned. Now they are. This is the observer axis inversion. You are no longer inside the exchange. You are above it. Above means less accessible. Less accessible means higher value. Value without validation is authority. Notice how rooms react. Conversations pause when you enter. Topics shift subtly. People check your reaction before committing. They are calibrating to your gravity. Gravity does not argue. It attracts or repels. Both are power outcomes. This is why silence bonds crowds. When one man remains unmoved, others align subconsciously. They assume he knows something. Assumption creates mystique. Mystique creates restraint. Restraint creates order. Order elevates rank. You did not claim authority. It was assigned. Assignment without request is dominance. This is why explanation destroys gravity. Explanation collapses mystery. Mystery maintains orbit. The moment you explain, you step back into the arena. You trade sovereignty for participation. Participation is where rank is negotiated. Sovereignty exists outside negotiation. Gravity shift means you are no longer competing. You are being oriented around. Others begin adjusting schedules. They wait for your reply. They hesitate before challenging. Hesitation is power currency. It buys you time. Time amplifies advantage. This is the silent escalation. No one feels attacked. No one feels threatened. Yet behavior changes. That is the mark of real control. Control without conflict leaves no resistance. Resistance requires friction. Friction requires contact. You offer none. The insecure performer tries one last move. Provocation, a joke, a tease, a subtle disrespect. It is a territory test. You do not react. Non-reaction collapses the test. The probe returns to sender. They feel exposed. Exposure triggers retreat or overcompensation. Either outcome confirms rank. You remain still. Stillness is not emptiness. It is pressure without direction. Pressure without direction confuses. Confusion slows action. Slowed action seeds control. By now, the room has adjusted. You did not command it. It reorganized around you. Most men think attraction is a single move. It is not. It is a ladder. And you are judged by where you stand on it. The pursuer lives at the bottom. He believes effort creates value. He believes clarity creates safety. He believes explanation builds trust. Every belief exposes him. Pursuit leaks hunger. Hunger signals low leverage. The moment you chase, you announce who needs who more. Need is hierarchy poison. The ladder begins with the pursuer. He moves first. He texts first. He explains first. Initiation becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. This is the sleeper position. Above him stands the mimic. The mimic copies what he sees working. He mirrors tone. He matches pace. But mimicry is still reactive. Reaction is payment. He waits slightly longer. He pulls back occasionally. But his restraint is strategic, not sovereign. Strategy collapses under pressure. Pressure reveals motive. Next comes the calculator. The calculator believes intelligence is enough. He times messages. He withholds selectively. He reads psychology like a manual. But calculation without dominance is still obedience. He is playing inside her frame. Frames decide winners. Above him stands the operator. The operator no longer optimizes responses. He controls availability. Availability is territory. He does not rush. He does not clarify confusion immediately. Delay becomes his default. Default behaviors define rank. When uncertainty appears, he does not soothe it. He lets it sit. Silence forces the other side to move. Movement reveals position. Now the ladder steepens. The puppeteer emerges. This is where identity changes. The puppeteer is not reacting. He is observing. He lets others test. He lets others project. Projection is confession without words. Jokes reveal insecurity. Delays reveal attachment. Mixed signals reveal fear of loss. The puppeteer does not correct perception. Correction is submission. He lets assumptions harden. Assumptions create self-imposed behavior. At this level, people begin managing themselves around you. But the ladder does not end here. Above the puppeteer stands the architect. The architect does not manage interactions. He designs environments. He is busy by default, unavailable without apology. Apology signals guilt. Guilt signals debt. He owes no explanation. His life has structure. Structure creates frictionless authority. Others adjust schedules. Others seek windows. Windows are granted, not requested. This is where attraction stops being negotiated. It emerges. Finally, there is the sovereign. The sovereign is absence with weight. He does not pursue. He does not test. He does not perform. He does not even withhold deliberately. Withholding implies intent. Intent implies engagement. The sovereign simply moves on his own clock. Clock control is ultimate dominance. At this level, attention withdrawal is not a tactic. It is natural state. He is not ignoring to provoke. He is ignoring because nothing pulls him. Nothing pulling you is maximum leverage. This is identity replacement. You are no longer trying to be chosen. Choice has inverted. Others orient themselves. Effort has vanished. Explanation has vanished. Containment remains. Containment is emotional discipline under uncertainty. Discipline terrifies insecure performers. They panic. They overinvest. They confess. They attempt to re-establish relevance. Relevance seeking exposes rank. The sovereign does nothing. Doing nothing is the highest skill. This ladder is not climbed by learning lines. It is climbed by subtraction. Remove urgency. Remove justification. Remove availability. What remains is timing. Sovereign timing does not rush outcomes. It lets outcomes come. Coming without chase is power. You were never losing because you lacked effort. You were losing because you revealed intent. Intent is confession. Confession collapses hierarchy. Machiavelli understood this before modern psychology named it. Power does not chase. Power does not explain. Power does not correct misunderstanding. Power lets others move first. Silence is not absence. Silence is pressure without direction. Direction is mercy. Mercy is weakness in competitive arenas. The dark rule is simple and brutal. Whoever needs clarity first has already lost position. Most men chase closure. They want certainty. They want reassurance. They want resolution. Every want leaks dependency. Dependency invites control. When you ask where you stand, you place yourself beneath. When you explain your intention, you ask for permission. Permission seeking is submission disguised as honesty. Silence removes permission from the equation. No chase means no negotiation. Negotiation implies equal footing. Attraction is never equal footing. It is asymmetry disguised as chemistry. The one who waits controls gravity. Gravity pulls movement. Movement reveals rank. When you stop responding, the other side must decide whether to invest. Investment reveals attachment. Attachment exposes fear of loss. Fear creates mistakes. This is not manipulation. This is structural inevitability. Insecure performers cannot tolerate uncertainty. Uncertainty mirrors their inner instability. They fill silence with noise. They test. They provoke. They perform. Every test is a probe. Probes exist to extract reaction. Reaction is payment. Payment keeps the other side alive. Silence collapses their economy. No reaction means no data. No data means no prediction. Unreadable men cannot be targeted. Targeting failure creates anxiety. Anxiety causes overreach. Overreach exposes motive. Motive reveals who cares. The dark rule turns attraction inside out. You are not ignoring to create desire. You are indifferent because nothing pulls you. Indifference is expensive. Expensive things are not chased casually. They are approached carefully. Careful approach signals respect. Respect precedes attraction. This is the inversion most men never accept. They believe warmth builds connection. Warmth builds familiarity. Familiarity kills polarity. Polarity requires distance. Distance creates mystery. Mystery implies depth. Depth implies value. Silence creates all four. Machiavelli warned against appearing easy to read. Visibility invites manipulation. Opacity creates danger. Danger commands attention. Attention flows upward. At the sovereign level, you do not withdraw to punish. You withdraw because engagement costs more than it returns. Return on interaction matters. Low return interactions drain authority. High authority requires conservation. Conservation looks like coldness to the needy. Needy interpretations do not matter. Perception is filtered through rank. High-rank silence is interpreted as strength. Low-rank silence is interpreted as avoidance. Rank decides meaning. You do not correct interpretation. Correction is defense. Defense implies vulnerability. Vulnerability invites pressure. Pressure breaks discipline. Discipline is the final separator. When attraction emerges without chase, it is no longer transactional. It is gravitational. Gravity does not argue, it pulls. The dark rule installs sovereignty because it removes your emotional exposure. No confession, no reassurance, no apology. Apology implies wrongdoing. You did nothing wrong by remaining unmoved. Unmoved men bend rooms. Conversations slow, responses lengthen, energy shifts. Who waits becomes visible. Who initiates reveals priority. Priority exposes hierarchy. This is the end state. You are not choosing silence as a tactic. Silence has chosen you. Because nothing external commands your movement. Command over self precedes command over dynamics. Machiavelli's rule was never about cruelty. It was about containment. Containment is power held without display. Display attracts challenge. Containment deters it. Attraction that emerges under these conditions is not begged for. It arrives cautiously. And caution is the clearest signal of respect.